So I'm going to try and do a step by step for you. And the first thing I always need to do with a Luxe is ascertain what solenoid you got in there. From the films before, you would know that there are two solenoid types. Yeah, there's this black and silver one. It's a black plastic at the bottom. Don't get it mixed up with this little piece of tape here that happens to be black. And then what there is there's an all silver one. But if you looked at it and saw that black tape, you would think that the all silver one was black and was silver and black. Confusing, you will be. Next thing I know is that you're already running with the FT screw out. So I am going to report your exhaust manifold. It'll be around the 0.5 mil mark at the moment. 1 mil, 1.39 seems to be the happy medium at the moment. But we'll see what you've got in there already. And then if you're going to run with the FT screw out, we need to blend up the front of your bolt, because the front of the bolts, it's not that they're sharp, but it's not that they're blunt. So we would turn that into a lovely blended curve, a really nice soft radius, and that's kind of where it starts. So yeah, so just inside here there should be a collar. So the bottom part is bigger than this top part, or as the hole goes in, it gets bigger at the bottom. This is what locks the actual seal in place. And also there's the seal itself is the same shape. I mean, I do actually change the radius here a little bit, but I'm not going to go into all that on camera. It'd be here all day. I've done that in films gone past. So that's your piston already done. Notice that it's almost the same as the new Shocker one. I wonder why that is. Because of my piston. Here's your big ball. Look at the size of the hole in that, darling. And that is definitely the can I'm going to use. It's just monsterly bolted, man. This will work so well in your shooter, in your fucking shooter. Okay, so I've just done that radius. So there's no sharp edge on here, right? So first thing I noticed is the O-ring that you've got on the end of the bolt is the wrong size. You've done the classic, take a 13 from the bolt guide and put it on the end of the bolt. It's no good. The actual bolt guide size, it's like an 11. If you put a 13 on here, this is just going to drag and drag and drag. It's like, you know, you're walking your dog and it don't want to know, and you have to physically pull it along on the lead. That's what's going on here. On mine, I would actually fill this in with filler, and I wouldn't have an O-ring on there full stop. I don't like an O-ring on there. It's complete and utter waste of time. Next thing I noticed is that your spring was rather bent, and it shouldn't be. And the reason it was bent is because it's using the old style spring retainer. Man, we got rid of these years ago. We haven't been using these now for like the last 3 years. So I don't know how that got in there, man. I haven't got a clue. It wouldn't have come from us at a show, that's for sure. This is the new type, and the way this goes in, put that on the end of your screw. Just make sure you can see this in the camera, and then it goes inside the spring and comes out. So now what you have is a spring guide that stops your spring from bending, as long as I don't bend it like I just did. Yeah. Whereas before, with the original type, yeah, your spring just pushes on. Well, it would push on if it hadn't come off, and there's nothing stopping your spring from doing this. God blimey. So I'm going to get your bolt set up now. You got to say please. Sometimes you got to put some glue. Loctite on the thread before you put it back in the bolts. Yeah, no. Blue thread lock. Okay, I mean probably not as much as that. hang on.
And then you say, hey, I brought
Your flowers, and then you say you some blue Fred lock. Okay, this is just to show you the difference in the size of the O-rings. This is a 13 from the bolt guide. This is actually what was on the front of the bolt, right? This is what I use. Ultimate bolt check, right? Basically, 2 O-rings on here, going to go inside the tube, right? That makes a piston, right? If we block one end of a piston, compress, then seal, what do we get? We get a vacuum. If I've got a vacuum, I should be able to create some suck. If I've got some suck, I should be able to stick this to my hands if the 2 O-rings in here are a really good size. I'm wobbling my head. So what we're going to do is we're going to squish it. We're going to put a hand on the end. Oh, hang on, that wasn't very good. Hey! The better we can get that, yes. Better. Well, it's giving up a little bit, but that is a brand new spring that I've put in there. So when that spring gets a little bit seated and a little bit softer, that would sit on my hand all day. That is brilliant. It means that the O-rings inside are a perfect match for the internal dimensions of this bolt. Leave the guns alone! What is he like, that bloody cat? Seriously, he wants a job as a gunsmith. I actually think he wants to be a Jedi. But I keep telling him cats can't be Jedis, only dogs. So here's your can, ready to go. We've done the suction test. So this one's all done now. We have the new piston in the regulator with the little locked in seal at the bottom that can't come out. We have the flowy can and bolt guide with the correct size O-ring on the end, okay, and with the correct spring, nice and straight, and the correct spring retainer. Let's slide that in there. We now have the FT screw in the gun, but with now the exhaust port to 1.39mm. Now, as a user, you need to set the dwell up yourself. I can set the dwell up in here. You take it out of the field and it'll be completely wrong. Won't be the right dwell setting. This is a bit of an anarchic gas setup, but it's all I've got at the moment. It's a little bit hot, so it's definitely shooting over 300 feet a second. I've had to bring the regulator down. Okay, get up. I shall punch us. I haven't got a lot of air left either. Yeah, I'm getting towards being completely empty with this bottle. And I'm running through this reg. It's, you know, ideally I want to be putting 450 plus directly into this reg. I'm not. This reg here has a maximum of about 180, so it might sound a bit weird. And now it's just a case of getting it on the range and shooting some paint for it. Like nobody ever does. Bitch. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to go on the range, you're going to shoot the gun, bring the dwell down till the gun stops working, and then it'll be all the shots be up and down, and then you start bringing a dwell back up again, and that will find the optimum dwell setting for that day, if it's wet, dry, hot or cold, okay, because it all affects the gun. So basically this is done. A good tip with these exhaust reg covers, put a bit of grease, silicone grease, inside the reg cover. That way you can actually get it back off again. Let's drop your O-ring in. This is good to go. I'll send you a little email. And you want some O-rings as well, right? Yeah, this is very, very nice gun. And There's actually 25 of these patterns made. So it actually has it written on the back of the gun. Don't got me, you thicky. Num nuts. I'll catch you later.